did you see Nikki Haley? She had a little appearance on the Today Show recently. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But before I do, I mean, she's going into a big disaster. This is like a tornado that's about to hit the Nikki Haley campaign this weekend. Well, maybe not this weekend. She's got a few more days, shall we say. A few more days until South Carolina. A few more days to bow out or just keep on sinking. It's not looking pretty for Ms. Haley. Take a look. This is the latest poll. Just came out. South Carolina GOP primary, Nikki Haley 30%, Donald Trump 65%. So this is going to be an epic disaster, humiliating disaster. And I guess she's just going to tell us what? Oh, it was all a, I don't even know if I can say this, right? Because you're not supposed to use these words in conjunction with talking about elections in polite company anymore. And yet Nikki Haley, oh, she just spits them right on out. Listen.
Does that situation in Nevada hurt a little bit?
No, I mean, Nevada, it's such a scam. They were supposed to have a primary. Trump rigged it so that the GOP chairman, who's been indicted, would go and create a caucus. We knew months ago that we weren't going to spend a day or a dollar in Nevada because it wasn't worth it. Mm-hmm. And so we didn't even count Nevada.
She says she cares about everybody and every vote counts, but she's not spending a day or a dollar in Nevada because it's not worth it. No, she's hightailing it to South Carolina where she's going to lose in a huge way. And she's probably going to have a mouthful to tell us just exactly why she did lose. Here's my question. Why is she still there? I mean, she was out on TV this morning slamming Biden and slamming Trump. Take a look at her on with the Today Show anchor, just going after Donald Trump.
It has been almost a year to the day since Nikki Haley launched her campaign in Charleston. We were her first interview after she joined a then crowded field of candidates. Now she's the last person standing to try and unseat frontrunner Donald Trump. For the first time earlier this week, she said Trump is not qualified to be president again. I asked her what changed after supporting him for years and why she's staying in the race. The former president yesterday endorsed a group of loyalists, including his daughter-in-law, to run the RNC now. The idea, reportedly, to bring the campaign closer to the party. What do you make of that?
He's just trying to control as much as he can control. But we don't want a king in America. That's the problem.
They heard your criticism earlier, and they responded. Trump campaign spokesman said, quote, Nikki, brain dead, bird brain Haley reeks of desperation as it's clear she knows she has no shot and is now auditioning for a cable news contract when her 15 minutes are over.
It's a weak response. You know we're under the skin because you saw what he did at the rally on Saturday.
Over the weekend, Donald Trump questioned the whereabouts of Nikki Haley's husband, who's serving a year-long deployment in Africa for the South Carolina Army National Guard.
Where's her husband? Oh, he's away. He's away. What happened to her husband? What happened to her husband? Where is he? He's gone.
You know, to mock my husband, Michael and I can handle that. But you mock one member of the military, you mock all members of the military.
But the reality is he's talked about the military for years now in disparaging ways. Suckers, losers, John McCain, Gold Star families. What's different now? What's different this time?
Before, when he did it, it was during the 2016 election. Everybody thought, oh, did he have a slip? What did that mean? The problem now is he is not the same person he was in 2016. He is unhinged. He is more diminished than he was.
You endorsed him when he ran again. You were a vocal supporter. You were out on the campaign trail.
I'm the first one to say I voted for him twice. I was proud to serve America in his administration. But you can go back and look in my book. I cite multiple times, and he knows it, when I called him out for things that he was doing that were wrong. Since I got out of the administration, I have called him out multiple times, which is why he's upset, because he thinks I'm disloyal. I'm not loyal to anyone. I don't do that. What I do is I call it out. If you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're wrong. And I'm going to call it out every time.
After the most recent attack on your husband and other military families, you said, quote, he's no longer qualified to be president. How do you square that with raising your hand on that debate stage, saying you would support him even if he were a convicted criminal.
You all signed a pledge to support the eventual Republican nominee. If former President Trump is convicted in a court of law, would you still support him as your party's choice? Please raise your hand if you would.
I have said any of those 14 would be better than Joe Biden because everybody sees how diminished Joe Biden is. I will also tell you, there is no way that the American people are going to vote for a convicted criminal. They're not.
But you said you would.
They're not.
But you said you would.
No, that is not the question. Every Republican nominee signed a pledge before they could even get on the debate stage that said, if that we were not the nominee, would we support the nominee? And I said yes, and I stand by that I would support the Republican nominee.
But you said he's no
right,
longer
way to go,
qualified
Craig.
to be president.
Good interview, buddy. I mean, he's got her, right? And this is what I've said all along. Like, let's hypothesize for a moment and think of the unthinkable. Nikki Haley, it's not going to happen, but suppose Nikki Haley were suddenly top of the Republican ticket. I mean, how on earth does she run? Because she's worked for Trump. She was in the Trump administration. She was the NATO ambassador under Donald Trump. She stood on that stage. She said she would vote for him. I mean, how does she undo all this, especially when she's out there? But she's damned if she does, she's damned if she doesn't, right? Like, it's like the Ron DeSantis thing. He's trying to run to the right of Trump and criticize Trump that way. She's trying to run to the left of Trump and criticize Trump that way. But you can't have your cake and eat it too, not in this political environment. And so she's sort of DOA because the media is going to go after her heart. I mean, look at what they did. That, you know, she didn't fully understand the origins of the Civil War, et cetera. Remember that whole thing? I mean, look, we know the main reason. The main reason is really, really obvious. And somehow, I don't know, she got distracted and was thinking about economic reasons that contributed to it. I don't know. I wasn't there, and I'm not inside her head. You can understand why, you know, the nickname kind of has some legs. But she has said some stupid stuff all along. I mean, I've played some of these clips for you guys. She was talking about taking in refugees from Gaza. I'm like, whoa, really? Like, when we're having the border crisis I mean, she's really kind of tried to play both sides for too long. And this is a great example of it. And so kudos to the NBC reporter for catching her in that. Because you can't have your cake and eat it too, and certainly not in this particular moment in time in the political environment in which we live. So I keep saying, like, why is she there? Why is she there? Why is she there?